It's just Jersey, man. We're a different breed. Place. Who doesn't want to win in Jersey?
And the Scarlet Knights did not have a national champion before tonight, and it's RU ×2.
What's going on, everybody? Breakdown at the Barn, episode 12. We're here. I'm John Forster. Usually I'm here with the greatest mind in wrestling, Eric Lenock. Had a business trip, but what do? I go to the bench. I bring in one of the top wrestlers coming out of Rutgers in the last couple of years. I got two-time national qualifier. I got top 10 ranked. I got team captain. I got the 2010 Crossroads Middle School badminton champion. Jordan,
Yep.
How you making out, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to fill in for Eric. I'm excited.
Nice, man. We love watching you at the rack, man. So we're glad to have you on the show. So one thing we're going to start doing here, this is episode 12. I know Flow Wrestling, they got their thing going. They talk about the wrestlers from the zip codes here in Jersey. Yeah. We don't do that. You know, we talk about exits. So exit 12 on the turnpike. We know what that is. The 1-2 is Rahway. What good wrestlers you know from Rahway?
I mean, I really think I only know one, but it's a big one, and that's got to be Darien Caldwell.
Yeah, Darien Caldwell is a real deal, man. He national champ, Bellator champ, does good at gymnastics too, does the backflips. We love him. There's some before your time, Jordan, that's why, you got me here back in the 90s. They had a stacked team back then. We do got the greatest mind in wrestling, Eric Winucks from Rahway as well. We had Rutgers team captain back in the 90s, Tom Wysocki from Rahway. You also had a big boy, actually two big boys, the Gareys. You got Antonio Garay, ended up playing in the NFL, was an All-American, wrestled and played football, was at Boston U, took fourth in the NCAA, ended up playing for the Browns and the Chargers. So you got a lot of good names from Rahway back in the day. They might have some new guys coming up. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully. Rich history there.
Nice. So what have you been up to since college? What have you been doing?
Man, since I've been done, I finishing up school right now. I got about 3 weeks left of my master's. I know I should be getting my PhD at this point. I mean, it's been a long time. But finished my master's in 3 weeks. Very excited about that. And then just working with the wrestling team, resident athlete for the SKWC as of October. So, nice. But I was working with them a little bit before that, but now it's pretty official. And working with the big guys in there a couple of days a week when I'm not in class, rolling around, helping out in the office, whatever I can do. And then because I'm not an official staff member or anything like that, I go to all these opens now, and I'm coaching all the red shirts and the backups and, guys who are trying to get into the lineup and trying to prove themselves by, winning some opens. So that's been really fun. That's kind of been my first coaching experience, and I like it. I understand why Goody gets so invested in it and, emotional and anxious because I want these guys to win more than they do, I think sometimes, or at least I feel helpless coaching them sometimes. Like I just want to go out there and do it for them because, man, I want to see them win. I know how hard they work. So
yeah, coaching is definitely tougher than wrestling because you just want to go out and do it, and it seems so easy when you're on the sidelines. So let's break it down. I know your senior year, you were looking sharp. That last match, I remember watching Ethan Liard from Ryder. You took him out. He was ranked number 7. A lot of momentum going into the NCAA tournament. And then a lot of guys in your situation, COVID hit, took your senior year out. What were your thoughts on that? What was going through your head at that time?
That was tough, man. That's still a tough pill to swallow, if I'm being completely honest. But it is what it is, at this point it's over, it's done. But, those first couple of days, obviously it's right when the pandemic hit. So you can't leave your house. There's nothing really going on. Not a lot of people know this, but I broke my hand before the Big Tens. That's why I didn't compete there. So I was geared up to ready to go at nationals. We had it all figured out what the plan was. It was feeling okay, but something I had to do. And now I'm sitting at home with a broken hand, feeling sorry for myself, and just wishing that I could have had that opportunity, you know, or wish they would have gave the year back. But it was hard, and it ended up getting a little bit easier. And now, you know, being involved still helps, and still kind of competing on my own helps, and coaching. So it's gotten better, but that sucked. It really did.
Yeah, it was rough. We really thought you had a great shot to get that All-American status. And, you know, I mean, being an All-American is cute and all, but I think where you really got messed up was you could have definitely got some of these NIL deals, man. I think you would have crushed it, been getting that money out there. You know, what NIL deals do you think you would have scored back at 2 years ago?
Manscaped would have been, you know, I would have been pushing for it. I go full body shave, go hairless, naked mole rat. We got a couple guys on the team now doing it, but I would have pushed for Manscaped. That would have been awesome. I think that could have been funny.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, that probably would have been the one on top of my list. I think it's funny. I think it fits my personality. And it's something I don't think a lot of people know, but maybe they did, but it would have been cool.
Nice. That's awesome. I got a couple for you. One, you know, I'm going to tell you, I got two I think would have been perfect for you. One, I'm going to tell you, I think goes with the wrestling on the mat and off the mat. I know you were tough on top. You had that claw ride going. And then I see you on the gram pounding the White Claws. You know, I think White Claw would have been a good one for you.
Yeah.
You know, I also think, and this is the mistakes they make, you know, I think they try to tailor to the college kids and get something cool out there. But you know what? The college kids are broke, you know, the old guys like me, you know, we buy the Paz t-shirts, you know, I bought the coffee, you know, I don't do too much except watch wrestling and hang out with my kids. So we got the money, but I think what you should have went with was Jordache jeans, and you should have went Jordies, Jordache jorts. You wore them out to warm up in, you know. I think, honestly, all the 40-year-old dads like me, we were rocking them with our white New Balances on the grill. I think that.
And they sell White Claws at they sell White Claws at Jersey Mike's Arena now. So that would have been perfect. The jorts and the White Claws, man, that could have been something.
That could have been something, but you know, they were holding you guys back, you know. So speaking of Jersey Mike's Arena, I know there was a little bit. I saw a post on Twitter, you know, renaming the arena. I think that's real cool. Some people were saying, hey, should be Goodale Arena, should be Ashnalt Arena. Those are guys that built the program up. I think you had a different take on that.
You know, like I said the other day, some people will still call it the Rack. Some people will now call it the Jersey Mike's Arena, but it was always and will always be the house Parati built. And I'll take that to my grave.
So I like that one, you know, someone who was a wrestling fan looking for that person. It was a long drought there to get that All-American. And I'll tell you what else was good that sophomore year when he placed, you know, it was he came in about a 500 record. No one was really expecting anything. And that was the first year they really got ESPN. They got the production down where you could put 4 screens up on your computer. It was before smart TVs. If you see my setup now, my wife thinks I'm nuts. I get all the TVs up, but you were able to get the different mats on, and you knew who was coming up. So I remember watching his every match in that wrestle background, and you didn't think he was going to place. He gets the number 8 seed, 10-second pin. Pena pins him in 10 seconds. You're like, this is great. The next match, he gets the pin. And then he wrestles, you know, in the blood round, he gets Nestor Topher. And you think, this is when the luck runs out, right? 6 seed, dropping down. This is when the luck runs out. He dominates, gets a 10-2 win. I was going nuts. You know, that was an awesome day for me, just in my living room.
I was a senior in high school when that happened, and I was so happy for Rutgers and just for P-Rod. And then, you know, my first year at Rutgers, that, you know, he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. And you know, we used to play around. I used to call him, like, that's my boss. Like, if Goody or one of the coaches wanted something from me, I had to go through, you know, my boss before I could do it for them. And it was a playful thing we had. And man, I just respected him so much because he wasn't super talented. And I've been around a lot of talented guys, and there are a lot of talented guys in this sport. But he was just one of the dudes who was so tough. Like, didn't matter who you were. Like, he was gonna go out and just, try to take your head off. And he just was so gritty and so tough and so mean. He just, he thought he walked the walk, and he did. And it was cool. And it was always cool to be around guys like that, because that's kind of how I thought of myself as a wrestler. Not maybe the best, but I wanted to be tough, like Parati.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to even go back further. I know House Parati built for me. I'm calling it Tommy T Arena. Someone had to get in the door. Those guys brought it up, and you talk about somebody that, wasn't that big of a recruit, never was a state champ. That was the first year we wrestled. After I was on the team, they wrestled at the Rack. It was 2002. Tommy Tanis comes in. Right after he tore his ACL during the year, came back from that. He said, F excuses are for wusses. Went out to nationals, took out Damian Hahn. People don't know how good Damian Hahn is. Damian Hahn's probably, didn't get 4-time state champ. He ran into future All-American Sean Scannell his freshman year at 171 in the finals at high school, but might have been the best wrestler in high school to come out of New Jersey. Even now we got a couple 4-timers coming out, but he took out Damian Hahn, ended up 4th in the NCAA. I'm going Tommy T Arena is what I'm going for the Rats.
That's not a bad pick. I accept that. He's one of the founding fathers, really, and one of the guys who built it. Definitely.
Got it.
I can respect that one.
So the big question I know everyone wants to know, everyone's talking about this. Bergen County teammate of Nick Suriano's, Rutgers teammate of Nick Suriano's. Where's Nicky Six-Pack going next year or this year, next semester?
Man, I wish I had insight. I wish I knew, but I don't think anyone knows, maybe except for the school that he's actually going to. I probably know just as much as everyone else. I see the stuff on, Rockfin and Flow and, the social media stuff. If I had to guess, I think it looks like Iowa State right now, but I really have no idea. I would have thought Arizona State coming into this season, just because spent most of his time training there. He hasn't really been at Rutgers since fall 2020, since fall last year was the last time he's been around. But I wish him the best, man. I hope wherever he goes, he gets it done.
Yeah, me too. I think I see this where people, someone leaves a team or someone leaves a job and they're like, oh, he's leaving us. Do what's best for you. We don't care. He gave us a national title. He gave us 2 national finalists. What else could Rutgers people want? He likes all the schools with state. That's what I see. Ohio State, Penn State, all the schools. Maybe we change it to Rutgers State. We could get a shot at getting them back maybe, but we'll see. But good luck to him. It would be cool. I do think I would like to see him versus Spencer Lee in the finals. That would be a awesome match. I would love to check that out,
Yeah, you and me both. Rematch with Fix. That could be cool too. I mean, those 2 weight classes, they got so many studs. It's not going to be a walk in the park for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the duels this weekend. I talked about how I love watching Parati, dude. The one thing I'm pissed off at, I'll tell you what, Jordan, I'm driving down after this. I'm in New Jersey. I'm going to North Carolina because I want my $5.95 back. That was bullshit. Listen, you could get a 15-year-old and hand them an iPhone and have a much better production than what they have. These days, it's so easy. I'll tell you what, your colleges, get on your game. If you're having trouble, get breakdown from the barn down there. We'll put it on. We'll film it. We'll give the commentary, dial us up. But they had this way up in the stands showing both matches. You can barely see it. No commentators. Listen, if you're showing matches with no commentators now, you should be ashamed of yourself these days. Get someone in there, call the matches, get it done. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when I was actually running a workout for the guys going to the Bearcat Open in Binghamton. But we were able to put it on one of the TV screens in our wrestling room. And when we got on, we're like, this can't be right. And we're like trying to click on like the Rutgers one. And we're like, there's nothing for just like a single view match. And then we're like, not even announcing anything. We don't know who's wrestling because we came on, I think we missed 125. We came on right 133. And we didn't even know who was going. Then we finally figured it out because of Twitter and stuff. But man, that was bad. That was like a middle school thing. You gotta be better, Davidson. You gotta be better.
Middle school could at least set the thing up. Like I said, you get a 12-year-old in middle school, they'd be doing a better job. So, but let's get on to the matches. Rutgers 3-0 to the day, took out Davidson, took out Tennessee Chattanooga, and took out Clarion. Let's go through these weight classes. We got, 25, 33, 41 dominant performances by Shawver, Sammy, and Seabass got it done. What were your thoughts on those guys?
Yeah, I think this is the first time in a while where we've had, 3 out of the gate who are really, really tough, can probably compete with anyone in the country. I know D-Shaw, he's a little bit young, but he's got big wins, right? He beats Patrick McKee at Big Tens last year, not really wrestling. And then this summer he beats Michael Kolioko, who's a stud at UPenn. Yeah. So he's got what it takes, and he's shown it already. He's beaten some pretty good guys. I like him a lot. He works really hard. Obviously, we know Sammy's really good, right? He's squirrely. He does exciting stuff. Might give a takedown here or there just because of his style, but he's right back up and he's right back, trying to pick and, get his hands and feet moving. I love Sammy. He's fun to watch, man. He excites me. And then, Seb is just a dog. He's just, he's the hardest worker in the room. Yep. The hardest worker I've ever actually been around in terms of, watching him practice and stuff. And he does everything right. And he's a stud. He's so dang tough. He's
like Frankie Edgar 2.0,
Exactly.
That's what he is. Brought it down. So yeah, that's awesome, man. And, I think, I don't think anyone that knew wrestling was worried about Sammy Alvarez after getting that headlock. That stuff happened to everybody, and he's shown this weekend, and he bounced right back. So I thought that was a good thing. So 149, Mike Van Brull. I was critical of Mike Van Brull last week because I didn't think he did his full potential. I think Mike Van Brull established. He's a guy that's going to win 1 or 2 matches at the NCAAs. I look at this 149-pound, rankings. I'm like, he could get in that top 4 if he has a day like he's capable of. So last week, I thought he, had that win in regulation, did something dumb, got it done in overtime, came out this week. He was on fire, man. He dominated. He took out number 23, Brett Moore, 7-1. I think the other 2 might've been majors or close to majors. Really looked sharp. What were your thoughts on Mike Van Brull this weekend?
I think it's starting to click for Mikey a little bit. Last year he had an incredible run, right? At the Big Tens, took 3rd place at, what a lot of people, like Donnie Pritzloff, he says the Big Ten tournament is tougher than the national tournament. A lot of people think that. It's a tough place. Tough place to win. And Mikey was able to take 3rd there. Didn't perform at nationals like he would have hoped, right? And then coming into this season, he had a little ankle injury, missed a little bit of the preseason, so didn't get like the full effect of preseason. And then he lost his wrestle off, or not a wrestle off. I shouldn't call it that. He lost an indicator match. And that kind of reset him a little bit, like, whoa, like, maybe I'm not riding this high off Big Tens anymore. I got to go to work. Guys are catching up. And yeah, like that first week at the Binghamton match, Binghamton quad, he didn't look too great, did enough to win. And then this weekend, he looked awesome, or last weekend, sorry. He looked awesome. And I think he's finding his stuff again, getting back to what he's good at. He's always going to be someone who wins close matches just because of his style, doesn't do too much. He's really good at what he's good at. And when he gets to it, he scores every time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see him through the season. Another person I'm very excited to get a full season out of is Rob Kennard. That was tough last year. Had the COVID test, didn't get a chance at the end of the year. Went 2-1 on the day. Now he's 5-1 on the year. I think, the Clarion match, I think was a match that he could have won. But what do you think about Rob Kennard throughout the season?
Yeah, I think Robbie, he's another guy who I'm excited about because he's going to get better each week and every match. And you can kind of tell when guys are going to start to develop. And he's kind of a guy who's been pretty stagnant so far, I'd say. But he works really hard in the room, and there's so much room for growth there. He does a lot of I don't want to say basic is the wrong word, but he does a lot of typical wrestling things. And sometimes he finds himself in positions he's not super comfortable in. But as the season goes on and he gets more matches, it's going to start to click for him. And 5-1 the first 2 weeks, that's great for a kid who's really in his first real season. Yeah. And I'm excited for him. He looks good so far.
Yeah, definitely. And then we'll go to 165. I think Andy Clark, rough day for him. Lost 3 matches. I thought he looked good in the opening match, showing some potential the week before. What do you say to someone like Andy Clark? He has that potential in there as a freshman, probably up a weight or 2 than where he would have been if it wasn't for the lineup. You're somebody who you came out your freshman year, didn't light it up. I think you were below 500, I think 8 and 9. What do you say to someone like Andy Clark who has that potential, but hitting some bumps here?
Just one, you got to have short-term memory loss. This sport is a marathon, not a sprint. You see, we bring up Parati, a guy who was like 500 going into nationals, I think, or close to that. Mm-hmm. Finishes an All-American. Yeah. You just got to stay the course and don't change anything. I see Andy in the room all the time. He's one of the hardest workers, and he wrestles so well in the room. And right now it's just a little bit of nerves, and he's just got to believe in his preparation, and that's a big thing. He's so good. He's really, really good. He's really, really tough. He works really, really hard. But right now it's just that lack of confidence, lack of belief, and he'll find his stride. I mean, the kid knows how to wrestle. He's a New Jersey State champ. He wrestles with All-Americans every day in the room, and he's just one of these days he's going to sniff one out and he's going to start to gain that confidence. But it's a marathon, like you said, man. I didn't do too well my freshman year. Back up the next year, lost my wrestle off my redshirt sophomore year, and then just kept, cutting away at it, and finally figured it out, and earned the spot, and qualified for nationals. So I tell him, man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And you're gonna be good, but you just gotta stay the course. Don't give up on yourself just yet, because he is good. I promise you, he is good. He is talented, and he's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw glimpses of that. Hammer on top. I know he's definitely movie trained. He can't beat that down here in South Jersey. So I'm looking forward to seeing him progress. Like you said, hopefully that short-term memory, don't get too down on yourself. Just keep getting better. Next, 174, Jackson Turley came out there. Obviously, something wasn't right with him injury-wise. That wasn't the Jackson Turley that we saw last year at the backside of Nationals, Tech Folan, nationally ranked guys. Connor O'Neill came in, went 1-1. I think he's having some success. For me, I think Jackson Turley, you gotta rest him up, get healthy. Number one, don't rush him in there. What are your thoughts at the 174-pound weight class?
Yeah, I think Jackson's a little banged up right now, and I think he's kind of in that weird spot of, am I too banged up to wrestle, or am I hurt, or am I injured? And I think he was kind of saying he was hurt in the beginning and letting him rest, and now it's thinking, he's got to say to himself, am I hurt, and can I wrestle through this for, the next couple of months? Do I need a couple of months rest, and then am I coming back? Or am I fine, and, I just got tired, and, I wrestled poor? That's got to be where Jackson's at. But Jackson's probably one of the most talented guys in our room, if not the most talented. I mean, the dude can throw the whole, everything but the kitchen sink at you, right? He's got everything. He can score from anywhere. I think he got a little tired there. I think he was thinking about, if he's hurt or whatnot. But Jackson's tough, and if he is hurt, like you said, Connor O'Neill, the next guy up, right? Connor's super tough. One of those dudes who he's really funny, makes you laugh, works really hard. But he's another young guy in the lineup who's got to just believe that he belongs to be there, And I think that's where Connor's at. he's been wrestling well, 1-1 the past 2 weekends. But he's good, man. You know, these guys are gonna drop matches and then they're gonna win some big matches. So it's all about, you know, staying the course and having that short-term memory when things don't go your way. And he's another guy who, you know, he's just got to believe that he belongs.
I agree, man. And then these last three weights for Rutgers, man, I'm excited for these dual meets because coming in the backside, we got some hammers coming in. I mean, you know, Paz, Bulsack, and then you got Boone. You know, but these guys are just hammers, man. They're good. They're exciting. They're scorers. They're not gonna, you know, they're gonna score points. They're gonna get it done. What are your thoughts about Rutgers up top?
We're good, man. We're really good up top. Obviously, John Paz, people got to see it last year. The kid's a stud. He's just a hammer. One of the nicest kids I've ever met. Super hard worker. Does everything right. Every little thing. Lives a great lifestyle.
He didn't get the memo. He didn't get the memo that your freshman year you're supposed to struggle a bit. You know, this guy came in and just smart wrestling the whole way through. Got it done. Right.
Yeah, he came ready to go right off the gate. And he's good, and you know, he'll find himself you know, in that same situation he was last year, you know, national semifinals, overtime. He's going to be there again. And again and again. I mean, he's tough. He's really good. And then Greg Bulsack, man, what a blessing that he transferred to Rutgers, because he is as tough as they come. He's good. We needed a really good 97, and he filled that. And I don't think you can ask for more from him right now. I mean, he's going out there, he's getting to his offense, getting on top, a complete stud with legs in. He cranks that power half, you have no choice but to go over. I felt it, you know. He's good. And not only is he freakishly strong, he's super flexible. So those, you know, guys who are bulky and muscular like that usually are boxy. He's real loose and limber. And man, I'm probably the most excited to see how he does as the season goes along and as we get into the Big Ten season and he starts seeing some really good guys. Because he's always been, like, I think, like a top 15 type of guy. Hasn't cracked through yet, hasn't broken through, hasn't gotten that huge defining win that, like, really makes you believe, man, I'm one of the best guys in the country. And I think he's going to get a couple of those this year.
He has a big dog, too. That's a throwback to the 1998 poster, Running with the Big Dogs, baby.
Yeah.
He got that dog hanging out. I saw the little promo they cut for Rutgers. That was pretty cool. You know, he would have fit right in that poster, man. We would have loved him.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, you got Boone. And I think for a while, Rutgers has been looking for that heavyweight who's going to excite people again. You know, we had Billy Smith for 5 years or 4 years, and he was awesome and such a stud and such a hard worker. And Boone's kind of the same way, but he's just not a Jersey guy. He's from Iowa, and he's a little different, and he's funny. He's a character. He's good up top. He's athletic, and he can wrestle like a lightweight. And I'm excited for him too, because, you know, coming from JUCO national champ, and coming into the season last year, kind of figuring out how it's different. You know, JUCO is a different level than, you know, D1 Big Ten, and I think he figured that out, and he put a lot of time in this summer. He got a lot better in areas that he wasn't great at, and he's good. We've got a good heavyweight. We're good up top, man. Those last three are good.
They're hammers, man. I'm excited. And he has those throws, man. That rack's gonna be going crazy, man. He hit that one in the first quad, you know, wasn't the same excitement as a Big Ten duel, but I think you're gonna see some fireworks when he hits that throws against these Big Ten teams and the place is packed. We're gonna love it. So, yeah, good performance overall for Rutgers. I think we're starting out 6-0, ready to get into next going to the Prudential Center. We got a couple matches there, and then getting to Midlands and then the Big Ten schedule, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting season. This team's young. I think since I've been a part of Rutgers, which is, you know, like 8 years now, been around, this is probably the most talented team that I think we've had in a long time in terms of like wrestling talent, just pure wrestling talent, these guys are talented. They're really good at wrestling. And I think for a lot of them, they just got to, believe that they're talented and believe that, the work they put in that room is going to translate to, to the match. And I think right now we're struggling a little bit there, but these guys are good. And we've got a great staff over there. They've got great teammates and they'll figure it out. And it's going to be an exciting year. We're going to beat some really good teams this year.
Nice, man. Nice. All right. So let's go to the other big match of the weekend. Bergen Catholic, the biggest match of the weekend that came out. Shane Griffith, the Stanford, won the NCAAs. It was an 8 seed. I think people thought he was more than an 8 seed. Not many people had him pencil in to win it though. This was his return to show that wasn't a fluke. He's here. He gets a tough Travis Whitlake from Oklahoma State, couple-time All-American. I believe Whitlake's ranked 6 now. 4-0 win, looked very dominant. What were your thoughts on that match?
Shane Griffith, that's my guy, one of my really good friends. And I knew going into this match, that he was the national champ. Like that was not a fluke. That wasn't like this whole save Stanford wrestling, like, people behind him, like, Cinderella story. Like, no, that kid's been good forever. Since he was like a little guy, he's been good. He's always good. And I think this match with Whitlake just kind of proved it. And I don't know if Shane is like the best wrestler, out of, all the national champs and stuff, however you want to put that. But he's probably the smartest wrestler like I've ever seen. Like he's so tactical when he's out there. Like that first period, 0-0, but you could tell everything went Shane's way. Whitlake gets in really deep, can't finish. And Shane is just so dang smart. His wrestling IQ is through the roof, and he just knows how to win. He's a winner. It's not always going to be big points. He's not going to put up big points. That's not his style. But, that was one of the most dominating 4-0 wins you could ever ask for. You could ever win.
He's learning that Stanford, man, a smart school, man. Unlike Rutgers, man. I got into Rutgers, so he's doing good over there. So we talked about it earlier. You're coaching these kids that are redshirting. Bearcat Open, big win by Anthony White at the Bearcat. I'll tell you a little history. That wasn't always the Bearcat. Back in the 90s, that was the Oklahoma Gold for a while. Oklahoma used to come out to middle of nowhere in Binghamton, New York. We would go to the middle of nowhere, and there's a tournament with Oklahoma out there, and they were ranked top 5 in the country back then. It was a little bit of a weird thing. Now it's the Bearcat Open. Why don't you tell us about Anthony White's performance there, getting that gold?
Anthony White, he was just firing on all cylinders yesterday. He just he's so good, man. And he's a guy who kind of came on late in his career in high school. Took 4th in state his junior year, 4th at Super 32 his senior year, wins a state title. And I guess that's kind of coming on late, especially for, we're in the Big Ten now and we're starting to get some big names. And
wasn't a blue chip, flew under the radar a bit, no one was saying like, wow, Rutgers got Anthony White, was a good wrestler, but he wasn't one of the names that people were very high on. I think they found a diamond in the rough there, if you want to call it that. Still, state champ, 4th and Super 32. It's still pretty good, but I think he's gonna do some damage here.
He looks like when he's competing, like he's not a true freshman right now. He looks like a guy who's been through it, who's been around, and just the way he's moving his hands and feet together and creating motion and faking and snapping, and he just looks like he's been through it before, and this isn't his first rodeo. And I'm excited. He's a super humble kid, really nice kid. He's got that Tiger style in him, right? We've had some pretty good South Plainfield guys come through this program. Yeah. We found another one who's really good. And I'm excited to keep this winning streak with him. And we were at East Stroudsburg the week before, and we had 2 champs there with Nico Colucci and Joey Oliveri. Joey Oliveri, another freshman who's super impressive. Just a tough kid, man. He's got a lot of areas to improve on, but he's winning opens and he's competing hard, and he's beating Division I starters left and right this past weekend. And he's gonna be another guy in the future. Him and White are.
I'm excited for him because I'll tell you, one of my favorite Rutgers wrestlers was Anthony Oliveri. Most people don't respect that. They would send him out against everybody. I think there was a stretch there. He wrestled like 4 guys in the top 6.
Aronelli, Evan Wick, Michael Kemmerer.
And he did well. He wasn't like he laid down, man. He looked good against him. So,
AO, that's what we call Anthony Oliveri, man. AO is one of my close friends, and he's just a tough dude. And he was one of the most coachable kids you'll ever meet. Coach was like, hey, you're weighing in at 184 today. You got the number 4 rank in the country.
Yep. Yeah, he was going up weights.
Yeah, and they were just like, hey, you got to do your job, right? And your job was to, his job at that point, you're asking a lot of that guy is, hey, don't give up bonus. And that's what he did, man. He wouldn't give up bonus. He was stingy. He was tough. And he was very underappreciated, I think, to Rutgers, Rutgers faithful, but to our wrestling program and our coaching staff and our teammates, we loved him, man. He was everything you could ask for in a good teammate.
Yeah, they're the casuals, man. The hardcores loved them, man. The hardcores loved them. The casuals
absolutely
didn't know what was going on. But I say you get a van, dude. Get these guys out to Chicago in 4 weeks, man. Midlands, get it done.
Yeah, we're trying. I know Midlands is only letting us send our 10 starters this year. We're not getting the extra guys, so there's some plans in the works right now. I mean, we've got, we'll be at Millersville this weekend. Shorty Hitchcock. Some guys will be
talking to a 2-time Shorty Hitchcock champion right now.
I'm a 1-time champion.
Nice.
I'm a 1-time. So you got me there. So we'll send some guys there. We'll send some guys to the Navy Classic this weekend, and then I think there's about 3 more opens on our unofficial schedule for our red shirts and backups, and then trying to work out a couple bigger tournaments, but we'll see if we can get them in. But I'm excited, man. I love coaching these dudes up. It's fun. I get fired up, and I'm kind of young, so it's cool for me. Last week I was coaching against Kyle Dake is in the corner of some of these Cornell guys.
Nice, man.
And it's Cody Sanderson's in the corner, a couple of Penn State guys, and I'm kind of in this right now. I'm really doing it.
Nice.
So
it's cool, man. Fun. It's a good time. Get these guys their reps, man. They need to make use of that red shirt year, or that, their backup. They need to get that mat time. And especially at that level, you need to figure it out. After you've been in the system for a while, it's okay to take, I think people are getting smarter about that too. Give people some time off and time to rest, and not send them out there every time. But when you're first getting into the college swing of things, you need to get those matches in, and you either win or you learn, right? You figure that stuff out, make that mistakes at East Stroudsburg, the Navy Classic. So when you're in the 10 championships, you're getting it done.
I tell these guys, Anthony White got pinned at the East Stroudsburg Open in the semis pretty fast. Someone upper body caught him on his back, and he came off. He was pretty okay, but I just kind of told him, hey, rather it happen in East Stroudsburg than, in front of 8,000 fans at the Jersey Mike's Arena. So he's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, hey, this whole year for us is about developing, having fun, getting our reps in, and winning, right? But if we don't win, it's not the end of the world, because it doesn't matter right now. So we're just getting better right now. And I think these young guys are really buying into that already. Kind of the no pressure when they're competing right now, and just have fun and do what you love to do, man. Just wrestle. Let's have fun.
Awesome. All right. So we got a question that came in from our fans. This one's from Pat Pollard. It says questions around Kayano Hamilton. I think I'm Deontay Hamilton. I need to get his name right. Don't tell him I said that.
I will not.
Looks like he's a guy that could take me behind the woodshed right now. I wouldn't want to mess with that guy. But the question's around, can he balance football and wrestling at the same time? What are your thoughts about that? Probably the 2 toughest sports in D1, I think, right? So what are your thoughts?
I think he can do it, right? I say, why not? I remember a couple years ago, this is I think my first year at Rutgers. Dude by the name of Spencer Myers was heavyweight at Maryland, played football and wrestled, and he was a starter in football. Played football really through the first half of the wrestling season, and then second half of the season came around. Football was over. He was he was wrestling. And I want to say, don't take me too serious here. I think Spencer was an All-American, or at least, around the 12 glove round type of kid. And then I think 2 or 3 years ago, you got Josh Hokett from Fresno State, who was a fullback running back for Fresno State and was an All-American for Fresno State wrestling. So it can be done. Guys do it. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Both of those sports are hard, as you just said, hard enough by themselves. So now he's got to balance too. Yeah, I think if Coach Godel and Coach Suriano work together and kind of maybe figure out a plan for him in the off season, hey, what's he going to do these days of the week, and what's he going to do during this time, and we get him second half. I think we'll figure it out. I know right now he wants to wrestle, man, but he's starting. He's a freshman starting football at the end right now, so. Who knows, man? This kid might be in the NFL. That's a little bit of a
challenge when they get really good at football. It's like, hey, you're going to be signing that big contract in 4 years. Yeah. But I definitely would love to see it. I know, right at the beginning of the show, we talked about Antonio Garay. He did it for a year. I think it was a sophomore. Took 4th in the NCAAs and played football for Boston College. So there's some examples. Rutgers had a couple guys, back in my day, 1 year heavyweight Tom Pecco played football, was close to, should have been a national qualifier. We got screwed back in those days. The EIWA gave us like only a couple bids, but took like 3rd or 4th in the EIWA, just lost a match in the semis, very close, but ended up having bone spurs his senior year, so couldn't come back. So he did it. Ramel Meekings was a solid starter for Rutgers. Also I remember Doug Eastlick, Virginia Tech fame. He's really the guy. He really won the Heisman. Michael Vick was, going behind him. He wrestled for a year at Virginia Tech too, and ended up playing for the Dolphins and the Bengals. So can be done. Is it easy? Hell no. That has to be tough. I know after wrestling season, I was pretty beat, but hey, I'd love to see it. I think he has that ability, and would love to see him in there as a heavyweight in some capacity as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man. I hope we figure it out. I know the plan is right now for him to wrestle. He gets a week off after football, and then he's going to come right into the room. That's the plan. We'll see if it holds up. But whatever he does, he's going to be successful. Whether it's just football, whether it's maybe just wrestling, or both, the kid's going to have success. He's tough.
All right, good stuff, Jordan. Great having you on, man. I'm hearing the music. Hey guys. Follow us. We just got on Facebook and the Instagram, man. We're blowing up. Get on there. Follow us. We got some cool memes out there you're going to like. Check that out. Follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast going. We'll check you out. We'll see you next time. Relentless Pursuit.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man. This was awesome.